Wow, would you look at that? We're back at the original Disneyland.
A California classic, an American original, and most people don't think of it this way, but a piece of world history.
When this place first opened up in the 1950s, it completely changed everything from the layout of public places, technological advances,
and of course, completely revolutionized the entertainment industry. It changed everything.
and it's never stopped changing since.
Like other people are fascinated with Athens or Rome, I've always been fascinated with the way this place changes.
Just consider the whole front gate area alone, where they digitally scan your pass or your ticket so you can enter the park. Here's the view today, but it looked a whole lot different in 1957. It's definitely still completely recognizable, but if you look closely, you'll notice ticket booths, and just a few of them right out in front of the turnstiles.
No digital technology back then, just punching a hole in the old paper ticket.
No more ticket booths in front of the turnstiles today. And of course, the whole look and feel of the turnstiles has completely changed when they replaced the old buildings
And gave us these slightly more secure looking modern versions.
I mean, the old 50s footage, you can actually see chain link fence separating the parking lot from Disneyland.
Theoretically, you could have just hopped right over it, but you wouldn't want to hop right over this today. That would be a pain in the chest.
Wow, look at the view back in 1957. It was beautiful. One thing I noticed is that everyone is dressed so nice compared to today.
But another thing I noticed are the trees.
I mean, I am standing in almost the exact same spot as that footage from the 50s, and I can barely see into Disneyland from here.
But if you take a look back then,
There were so many fewer trees, you could see right into the park. You can even see the City Hall building quite clearly.
and that is definitely no longer the case today. Look, it's all covered up by these trees and shrubberies.
Same thing goes for Main Street Station over here. Look at that humongous tree in front of it.
And then look back at that tree in the 1950s.
Well, that tree was barely knee-high to a grasshopper back then. That is certainly one heck of a contrast.
Just goes to show you a lot can change in 6+ decades.
I mean, seriously, would you look at the size of that tree there?
And that's just the tree to the side. If you look back at that old footage, there's another tree in the center, much closer to the front of Main Street Station.
And considering how gargantuan this side tree got over the years, you can only imagine if there was still a tree right there.
It would completely block this out of view.
My, how things have grown and changed. Some things, though, never change, like having a classic view of floral Mickey and then gazing up at Main Street Station looks almost exactly the same today. Slight change in the floral Mickey design, and of course a slight change in the size of the crowd out here getting a fun pic.
But you know what? The tradition has held up.
Think of all the generations of people who have had their picture taken right there.
I do kind of wish they'd bring the attraction posters out back in front of this fence again, though.
That was always kind of a cool touch back in the day. Alright, enough dilly-dallying. Let's head into the park.
Now, the reason I started by bringing up change so much
It's because lately, Disneyland has been undergoing quite a lot of it.
quite a few of them. Something like that.
At first glance, all the work they're doing around here really doesn't show.
But once you head out into the middle of Main Street,
Bam!
you can see Disneyland's having a little nip
A
tuck.
little cosmetic surgery.
No wonder this place looks so good for its age.
Oh, hello there, bud.
That's the horse's name. You can tell by the name tag.
They're always right up behind the driver, as you can clearly see.
There's quite a lot of work being done out here.
Just look at that castle.
Undergoing refurbishment still.
Now, those of you who have been watching for a while may remember that in the months leading up to the 60th anniversary, a few years ago, there was a similar sight out here.
As a matter of fact, more than once in 2014 leading into 2015,
The castle was blocked by tarps and screens and scrams, whatever you want to call them, just like this.
first there was sort of a general touch-up, repainting, a little light refurbishment.
Then, of course, it closed down and was tarped up again shortly afterwards to add on all the 60th anniversary decorations,
including adding all kinds of things onto the roof
to make it sparkle in the sunlight and light up at night.
Well, then it turned out that for the last several years, it still had that 60th anniversary roof on it, and the reason
was because that when they went to take it down, supposedly it had greatly damaged the original roof underneath.
And so now the castle was in need of a little restoration.
I gotta say, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, at least there's an image of the castle up there. Much better than those plain brown looking tarps that I saw before I went to Disney World recently.
And the cool part this time
is that it's not just the front of the castle they've covered up with artwork.
For example, just look down this walkway.
Normally, this is one of the best spots to get a picture of the castle with the moat in front, the water, and the ducks and whatnot.
Instead of just continuing with this gray fence here, I really like
that they've added a little forest scenery from Sleeping Beauty right here. I mean, after all, it is Sleeping Beauty Castle.
And of course, it's pretty cool because you may not be able to take that perfect selfie with the castle and the moat in the background right now,
but you can still get a pretty cool fun pic in front of this wall right here with this art,
which isn't going to be around forever, so kind of a cool limited time bonus.
And you know how much some people love getting their picture taken in front of walls.
Now, I haven't been here much since they've done all this.
I've been in Florida at Walt Disney World for the majority of time. The design has been on the tarp.
So this is my first time really seeing it in the day.
Wow, I mean, look at all that. You can really see how extensive the work being done is.
That is quite a lot of walkway and quite a lot of castle blocked off up there.
Like I said before though, anything that preserves Walt Disney's original personal castle
is okay by me. At least they're not adding on to it like they are in Hong Kong. Whoa,
that's gonna look crazy.
Luckily, all we're getting is a spiffy new paint job and a shiny new roof.
Now I know for some of you guys at home, coming to Disneyland just isn't the same without a view of the castle.
But don't worry, I got you covered.
We'll make up with it with a view of the castle in 1957. Look at that glorious beauty.
Isn't that beautiful? I cannot wait until it looks like that again. But in the meantime, I must admit,
I do not mind looking at this. Would you look at the back of that castle?
Ooh, delolly.
That scrim is huge and very, very cool looking.
Got the three fairies on top.
Maleficent the dragon shooting green fire at Prince Philip. Look at all the thorns.
Whoa. Okay, that is cool looking.
So totally weird. Ooh, and look at this. Looks like they have a little interactivity going on with the Play Disney Parks app.
Too bad I forgot to download that app and I can't connect to the App Store. Darn you, technology.
As you may have guessed, just from looking at this here, the passageways to Main Street on either side or through the castle
are in fact closed off, so everyone's got to go the long way around to get back here.
And looking at the tarps at first, I kind of thought that the old Castle Heraldry shop,
which is now the Castle Holiday shop,
I kind of thought that it would be completely closed, but no. Turns out it's still very much open.
Just gotta head down this weird little pathway to get there.
Oh yeah, that is strange. Ooh, still looks perfectly normal on the inside though.
Just a little too creepily quiet and calm in there. Ugh.
Anyway, I'm guessing that the fact that the shop is open on the inside means it won't be being remodeled this time.
Which is kind of too bad, because when the heraldry shop closed, the big rumor
was they would use that area to build a fast pass line for Peter Pan.
Something I believe every other Peter Pan ride has.
And ours could really use.
That would be a good change. A change I'd like to see in the future, if possible.
Hey, just look at that. That is an unusual sight.
Just want to soak that in, because it won't be forever.
Speaking of change out here, it's funny that Fantasyland feels like the most old school, most original Disneyland land of them all.
But in reality, it's probably the land second only to Tomorrowland that's changed the most.
At least appearance-wise, anyway. It may look and feel old school out here.
But the Fantasyland of today
looks almost nothing like Fantasyland did back in 1957. I mean, that original Fantasyland was just on a whole other level. I really wish I could go back in time and check it out in person. But thankfully, at least I have this footage from the ever-expanding Random Land archive to help us do a little time traveling.
Now, I was born the year this new modern Fantasyland debuted in 1983.
So it's the Fantasyland that I've always known, but luckily I'm old enough.
But I do remember some crossover things.
Such as the old Skyway and the Skyway station that was right over here. I was very familiar with that old Swiss chalet building, which was really only recently removed. It sat up on this hill, abandoned, kind of falling apart for years and years after the Skyway closed. Look at this. Here is the stairway. You can actually see in that old clip from 57.
It's now hidden behind that little tent back there.
That was the entrance stairway, and over here
there's just a little bit of the old exit.
That is just crazy the way things can change. Luckily though, not everything has changed. I mean, just like back in the 50s, we've still got Dumbo, we've still got the teacups, even if they are in a different spot than they used to be.
We've still got most of the Fantasyland dark rides from back in the day.
So it just goes to show you, not all change is bad and scary.
They know what they're doing at Disney, enhancing the magic without losing the original spirit. I love that.
I mean, consider the way they expanded the queue for the Matterhorn.
All they did was add a couple of switchbacks to the other side of the walkway.
Added a new little entranceway that totally fits in with the old buildings. And of course, this great return time sign.
Everybody's mother-in-law.
Yes, sir, the Matterhorn queue expansion, the Dumbo queue expansion, both are examples
Of welcome changes out here that spruce the place up.
Now, speaking of change, though,
There are rumors about them expanding Fantasyland. Most of the rumors are good. I'm okay with
but
them.
there's also been one rumor that's just a little bit scary.
Which is a rumor dismissed by most, but really, really strongly believed by others.
That the Fantasyland expansion would involve removing Storybook Land over here.
Oh, now as a fan of the old school, cutesy, little tiny Disneyland, that one would hurt.
But I guess mainly for nostalgia reasons, because I know that everything Disney builds is bigger and better than the last thing.
I gotta be honest, that's a rumor I don't really like that much, you know?
But I do understand that just because everybody loves Storybook Land doesn't mean that everybody's riding it all the time.
Or writing down in surveys that it's their favorite ride.
Anyway, that's just a little rumor.
Most likely this won't be going anywhere, I hope.
The other far more likely versions of the rumors would have them replace the Fantasyland Theater, which makes sense given how much space there is right there.
And then possibly, just possibly, expanding the expansion
into Toontown. Now listen to me closely here. I like Toontown.
I love Toontown, as a matter of fact.
I was actually standing right here on opening day inside the land with Michael Eisner, Robin Williams, you know, all the celebrities.
As they opened up the gates to the public.
So I am very, very nostalgic for old Toontown and still very attached to Toontown today.
But if we're being perfectly honest,
Even I sometimes forget Toontown is even back here.
and even though you can meet Mickey here, it's hardly the most popular land in the park.
Although adding another fun pick wall over here hasn't exactly hurt.
The point is, if they decided to expand Fantasyland over here,
Or even someday expand Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is just on the other side of Toontown.
it would make a lot of sense. A Seven Dwarfs Mine Train here, or another Star Wars ride.
It's pretty much automatically going to be more popular than a non-bouncing Goofy's house or a stationary Jolly Trolley.
Hey, I hope Toontown lasts forever, especially for Roger
How
Rabbit.
to make up the rumors? We just report on them.
Changes.
Ah, speaking of fun pick walls, I love this one.
Whenever someone used to ask to take a fun pic with me and I'd be in this area, I'd be like, dude, we gotta do it in front of
In
this.
fact, I'm pretty sure Adam DeWoo and I took a picture right here that he later had as a t-shirt.
Little did we know it would become one of those walls.
Next time you take a picture in front of this, I want you to know this was the old route of the Disneyland Railroad.
All the way up until they pushed it back over there to
And
expand.
make room for It's a Small World.
So it's not just a fun pic opportunity.
That is a piece of Disneyland Railroad history.
Also another example of a good Disney change, huh?
Now going back to the whole Fantasyland changing rumors thing I was talking about.
It's quite possible that those are just rumors and there won't be any change over there for quite a while.
After all, they still have all of Tomorrowland to worry about.
And once they open up a whole Star Wars land,
There's going to be no more need for the Jedi show over here. No point to having the Star Wars launch bay.
or the Star Wars name tags,
And somewhat worryingly to fans of the original,
once they have that new Millennium Falcon simulator type ride,
there's not going to be much point in keeping Star Tours around, is there?
I mean, how exciting is it really going to be riding a space bus after you've piloted the Millennium Falcon?
There definitely won't be much point in having stormtroopers wandering around in Tomorrowland.
When they're going to have a lot more luck finding resistant spies in Galaxy's
And
Edge.
that means pretty soon, Tomorrowland is going to be free of Star Wars.
And then what are they going to do?
So my feeling is if any land is going to get the upgrade after Star Wars Land is done,
It should probably be Tomorrowland.
and this is just pure fantasizing now, but wouldn't it be awesome if they got a new people mover?
Yes, they'd probably have to replace the original
But
track.
the whole ride path is still there. Wouldn't it be amazing?
And if they did it, maybe one day.
they could put the rocket jets back on top of their platform.
Oh, talk about nostalgia.
It just looked so good back then. Oh yeah, and actually speaking of the rocket
The
ride,
current version, the Disneyland Astro Orbiter here,
is still MIA. MIA.
But it should be and could be popping up any time now again.
Because it's supposed to reopen in spring 2019, and as you can see, the stump of the ride is already back there.
Looks like some assembly is still required.
But apparently, it is coming back to its old spot at the entrance to Tomorrowland.
Now, personally, I am just such a huge fan
Of the entrance to the 1967 Tomorrowland, that will always be burned into my memory.
I mean, it lasted all the way till 1998.
And now, before I run out of time,
There's been one other major change here I haven't had a chance to look at in the daylight.
and to see it, we're gonna have to leave the hub here and head towards my favorite land of all.
The one and only
Adventureland. The old-timey, exotic, tropical fantasy now with brand new
well, newish.
accessibility ramps over here.
They had to move Koro out of his old spot.
So he's now down a little lower than he once was over here.
But there's a whole new ramp access to the Tiki room now. Ooh.
This is something I have only seen at night, but it's not the only change to Adventureland that I came over here to see.
Because there's an even bigger change.
Hiding around the back in this area next to Pele and Nagenda used to be the old elevator to get in.
Now that they have those new access ramps,
This area has become an access point
to Adventureland's newest feature.
just around the back of the Tiki room. It's the pretty much still brand new Tropical Hideaway.
Now, for many years, this was the old Aladdin Dinner Theater restaurant.
And you may remember the old Aladdin-themed entrance right here,
Which is where I took my first picture with my fiance right over this magic carpet tile.
which they very thankfully left behind as kind of a little memento of the past.
It was pretty cool. It was like dinner theater. You could eat your food.
Watch a whole Aladdin-themed
A
show.
lot of people grew up with that as part of their Adventureland experience.
But what some of the younger people may not remember
It's that long before there was even that Aladdin theme.
this was known as the Tahitian Terrace. And check out this shot from the 60s. Look at it in all its tropical splendor, complete with Polynesian musicians and Polynesian dancers. Just look at the outfits on those servers down there, the wooden trays. Look how nicely everyone's dressed, having a fun time in Disneyland's version of the South Pacific. And look in the background at that gargantuan, concrete-enhanced huge tree that was sort of the centerpiece of the old original Tahitian Terrace. Man, that was one amazing place.
This is so exciting that the new Tropical Hideaway
Is picking up where the Tahitian Terrace left off.
Unfortunately, the gigantic concrete tree that they used to have those dancers in front of
Didn't survive to make it into the new Tropical Hideaway over here. And sadly, neither did the waterfalls that used to be in the Tahitian Terrace that the dancers would come out of. But just the fact that the jungly, tropical Adventureland vibe is back over here gets me so excited. Plus, Aladdin fans should be stoked
because there's still references.
and a good spot for a fun pic with Aladdin himself.
I like Aladdin, but I'm way more stoked on the whole jungle Adventureland Tiki vibe.
I love seeing the Tiki Room style planters out here. But what I love even more is seeing this Tiki Room style bird.
And it's not just any bird, it's Rosita.
You know, as in, I wonder what happened to Rosita.
Well, here she is.
And the best part is, she talks.
There was a time at the Tiki room that we thought we were receiving messages in Morse code. Turns out we had just hired a woodpecker.
Weird.
Look at this. Rosita has been traveling the world and she's got a ton of swag. I'm guessing to take back over to the Tiki Room back there.
This is awesome because it's obviously a reference to the Tiki room. What happened to Rosita?
But it also harkens back to the old Barker bird that used to be in front of the Tiki Room, calling on guests to come inside and check out the enchantment.
That is so awesome. She tells jokes from time to time. Every once in a while she squawks.
And behind her, now that the whole Aladdin stage is gone, are beautiful open views of the Jungle Cruise.
Dude, this is awesome.
Plus, along with all kinds of other new jungly treats, you can get Dole Whips over here.
In multiple flavors.
Which means the Tiki Room no longer has the monopoly.
Hey, check it out up there.
The other Tiki Room gals have little perches up here. Look at that, there's one for Mimi, Fifi, Gigi, Bella, Suzette, Josephine.
And we never have to wonder what happened to Rosita again.
That is very, very cool.
What kind of bird is with you at every meal? A swallow! Oh, Rosita, you're wicked.
Oh, Rosita, you have the best jokes.
Oh yeah, the Tropical Hideaway, I heartily approve of this.
Another example of an epic and good Disney change.
I love every single Tiki Room tie-in. I love that the Jungle Cruise is open to view.
And yes, even though they tore down the archway where I first took my first picture with my sweetheart,
I still love the Tropical Hideaway for leaving this little mosaic down here.
so that we still know where to take our annual picture together.
People were like, aren't you sad your anniversary spot is gone?
But the way I look at it,
Since we took our first pic together right over here,
our spot isn't gone, it's just
I'm
upgraded.
sad in a couple of days they're going to have an Adventureland day out here.
Sadly, I will not be in town for it.
I will once again be on the move.
But only for a short while and then right back again.
Which is good.
Because for a while now, I've been planning some more installments of our classic, one-of-a-kind original series.
Disneyland then and now. Or now and then.
We do it both ways, you
I
know?
was mainly trying to wait for the tarps to come off the castle.
But I'm starting to think that might take a while now.
Luckily, there are tons of other things to talk about out here besides just the castle.
So we're going to be then and nowing, now and then, time traveling and flashbacking.
all over this place.
It is gonna be sweet.
Don't tell anyone my secrets. Don't tell anyone.
Okay.
I don't know what secrets you're referring to. Okay.
Sheesh.
Oh, look at this. Even the French market has scrims up.
Not even Club 33 up there can escape the construction and refurbishment.
I was going to say earlier, part of this is that it's just refurbishment season.
That time between the holiday crowds and the summer crowds.
Where they figure, hey, if we're going to do maintenance on the park, now's probably the best time.
When it theoretically interrupts fewer people's vacations.
Mind you, I say theoretically because these days at Disneyland,
There really is no more off-season.
but anyway, like I was saying, it's partially that it's just refurb season.
But the real reason you're seeing so much refurbishment all at once
It's because very, very soon, and nobody quite knows exactly when yet.
the biggest change of all is coming, possibly the biggest change since Disneyland first opened.
The change that's going to join the worlds of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy to a galaxy far, far away.
I'm talking about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
AKA Star Wars Land. Pretty soon, this walkway under this bridge
Will be open and lead us in to the world of Star Wars.
They've already revealed the cast member uniforms for back there.
They've let in some of the press for some sneak
The
peeks.
scaffolding is off most of the mountains. It's almost ready.
And for better or worse, like it or not,
Disneyland will never be the same again.
if you thought it's been busy here since the 60th anniversary,
Well, we probably ain't seen nothing yet.
because everyone, and I mean everyone, is gonna want to get in there and get a peek.
I'm talking the casual Disneyland
The
fans,
hardcore overboard Disney fans,
people who love Star Wars, people who hate Star Wars,
engineers, mountain bikers, rollerbladers, skaters,
punk rockers, Trekkies.
truck drivers, soybean farmers, dirt farmers.
Everyone's gonna want to get inside.
I can't tell whether I'm excited or not.
See, because part of me is that sort of fan where I'd love for this place to be a museum and never change forever.
But then on the other hand, the other half of me
is a huge fan of modern Disney and
all of the great and amazing changes they made, not just to this park,
but also to the parks in Florida the last couple years.
in other words, I know the land is going to be cool. I know the rides are going to be spectacular.
But just like everyone else, I have human nature. I'm afraid of change.
Look at the size of this fence here.
That's all gonna be Star Wars Land. If you think these beams are big holding up the wall,
You should see the size of the ones on the other side to hold us out from getting a sneak peek.
it is pretty crazy that they're nearing completion.
Seems like it was only yesterday they announced they were going to build this in the first place. I remember that D23.
And now we're in the final stages before it finally opens.
I am a little excited.
But I'm also kind of trying not to think of it most of the time.
I've made it a point not to obsess over every new piece of scaffolding,
Or every movement of every new pile of dirt back there. Partially because that would just be going overboard.
but also partially when a new land or something like that opens up, I really like to go in, clean, and explore it and discover things.
I know a ton of people who are bummed out when Pandora opened.
They had obsessed over every little detail that leaked to the point that when it opened, they already knew everything that was going to happen, what everything was going to look like.
There were even people here that were complaining because things at Pixar Pier didn't match up to concept artwork, things like that.
For me, I feel like I'll live longer without that kind of anxiety.
For the most part, I just kind of like to wait and see it when it happens.
I want to be surprised and enchanted and explore a new world, you know?
Not completely spoiler free, but I also don't want it to be completely spoiled.
So I like to leave most of the construction update stuff to other people.
And spend my time having adventures or diving into Disneyland's past.
Which is where we'll be headed again again in the future.
Oh yeah, I love this stuff. Now today was mainly about catching back up with the park since I've been out of commission for a while.
You know, I just wanted to pop in for a peek, as it were.
Feels good to be home.
It feels especially good to be back.
At Disneyland with all of you.
Even like this, still fun.
All right, gang, it's about that time, but don't worry, we'll be back.
For now, though, the light is getting low, and we've done our duty.
It's time to go home.
And sleep well.
Rosita. Oh, do you think that Skipper is feeling well? I always seem to see him at the dock. Does anyone know a talented rhinoceros? My band is lost, and I need a new horn section. You know what sounds good right about now? A banana. Yes, that really appeals to me.
Hey, Tilly.
Until we meet again. Right?
Bye-bye now. Ain't that right, horse?
Yeah, that's right. See you later.
Ain't that right, Egg?
Oh yeah, eggs don't talk.
Ooh, horses everywhere. That's offensive. Go home. Go home. Go home.
Oh my gosh! What's happening? I know what this is. Sick merch.
Sick merch.
Ship Chandler? Where's Ship Monica? Am I right? How about Ship Ross?
Or ship Rachel. I ship Chandler and Monica.
Also other friends jokes.
Can't think of any right now.
Where's Ship Maurice? Right?
A doggy in there.
He used the secret Disneyland poop gate.
Oh, the memories, the memories.